Hi, my name is Javi Trujillo, and I am the Flash fan. And you're watching a special episode, a review episode of The Flash Up to Speed with Wally West. Now, today, I am taking a look at the brand new Walmart exclusive McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, The Flash Dawn of DC edition featuring Wally West as the Flash. So, given this is a Wally West channel, of course I'm going to review this figure. Out of the box, he comes obviously with the figure. We have 4 lightning attachments that are pretty standard on most Flash figures to give them a speed effect. We have the card that is an alternate version, a variant cover of the Flash 800, 900, 900 I think. I'm going to have to edit this, I'm sure. But this card was one of the variants for the big milestone issue that we just recently had at the end of Jeremy Adams' run as we went into Cy Spurrier's run. Obviously, your typical DC Multiverse, just basic stand. Back of the card, there's a data file, there's some facts. His name is Wally West. He was the fastest man alive. From Kid Flash to the Flash, from accidental killer to pilot of Metron's Mobius chair, Wally West has lived one of the strangest lives of any speedster, traversing multiple planes of existence just to find his way back home. Not exactly 100% for this version of the character. I mean, he did go through all that and eventually wound up like here. But at this point in his life, when he's wearing this suit, he's home, he's reunited with his family. For the most part, things are going pretty good. So it's an interesting recap to have, especially the accidental killer part. It's going to be something we're going to explain on a future episode. Especially as Heroes in Crisis is kind of retconned by the end. Anyways, let's take a closer look at this figure. All right, when this was first announced, it's something I've been clamoring for a while on social media posts for McFarlane Toys of like, hey, can we get a new suit Wally West? I was hoping it would be more in line with the one he wore right when he came back and retook over the Flash title, which was more traditional, but that costume is slowly morphed into this one. And it's a way for them to keep the two Flashes separate because they've gone with more of the animated Flash logo that he has, where it's just kind of the one bolt instead of like the two jagged pieces. They went with the new kind of animated cowl that also is reminiscent of the John Wesley Shipp cowl from the TV show. But the trademark white Wally West eyes that he got with his costume in the Flash 50 are here and present. I really love the gold. I mean, I'm pointing this out now because it's just standing out to me. I really love the gold they use on this suit, especially the cowl, wingtips, and the ears. I'm sorry, not the ears, the logo. It really stands out, and it's just not even, the camera's not even doing it justice. It's awesome. It is a different color boots. The boots are a different color. They're more of a yellow plastic versus this has got more of a gold paint sheen to it. And when they were first announced this, it was a bit of a monkey's paw situation, and I commented as such on the Instagram feed for the account. I was not a fan of this face at all, especially the early reveals of it. Just the grin really threw me off. It's kind of creepy, kind of serial killer at times. The Flashes tend to be happier characters than, say, like Batman, but it looked really weird. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get this. I don't think I can support this. But I saw other people get their figure. I'm like, it's Wally West. I kind of want it because it's kind of what I want. Not 100%, but happened into Walmart one day, and there were 5 of them on the shelf. And not only were they 5, but they're usually $25. They were on sale or marked down to like $19.84 or something along those lines. And that was definitely incentive for me to pick it up. And now that I've got it and I've photographed him and posted them, like it's grown on me big time. I'm actually really happy with it right now. again, it depends on the light and the angle. Like the smile can either look really good or really off. But they really did a lot of hard work to make it come to life, and the paint job is really good, especially with the shading around the eyes. But yeah, the problem that I have with this figure is, as much as they went for accuracy with this face and the cowl, and going with that newer logo, which McFarlane Toys likes to make these Flash logos 3D. The belt feels a little off to me, but most importantly, the boots are all wrong. Those are not the boots that this version of Wally West wears, and that's where the problem lies for this figure. Is he is a reuse of the buck, and that's how toy companies do it to save money and mass produce lots of different figures. But we've got a new head, which is great. Not gonna knock the fact that we got that, but is it that hard to use different legs or to just use a different boot style? Because these are Barry's boots. In fact, most of this costume is a reuse of their Barry Allen Flash, because Wally doesn't have these weird lines like that. But here we are. I mean, it got us a Flash figure, so how much can I complain about, right? So that's him. Let's take a look at the other McFarlane Wally West figures. Now here are 3 Wally West figures from McFarlane Toys. On the left, we have the Rebirth suit. Middle is the Death Metal, Speed Metal Wally West that was mentioned on the card with the Dr. Manhattan powers that he got after Flash Forward or before Flash Forward. It was a thing. And then, of course, that leads us to the Dawn of DC Wally West. So you can see the comparisons. You can see the similarities and the differences. Obviously, this one, they just reused the same Wally head, same buck. But the hands are different. He's got more of a clasping hand, or I don't even know what you would call it. He's not. It's just kind of straight out. Versus the last 2 figures have more of the flat running hand. But again, they all have like the markings here, the different striations in the costume that Barry Allen figure has. It's just a different chest logo. So here are the 3 Wallys all together. And again, it's just something, I don't know, slight on the photographer, because they do some pretty cool pictures at times, but like, these are 3D things, and sometimes the camera doesn't catch it right, or it catches it from a certain angle. It makes it look odd. Like one of the things, I wasn't going to get this figure because I didn't like how the hairpiece looked. And here we are now. Like it totally depends on, if I can get it to focus, it totally depends on what angle you get the figure at. Because sometimes it looks, God, I can't get it to focus whatsoever. There we go. Sometimes the hair just looks a little weird and a little floppy, but at other angles, pretty on point. So it just kind of depends on how you're looking at it. And the photos do it an injustice at times. But there we are. One final thing to point out about these flashes is how these 2 Wally Wests have in the sculpt pegs so you can put in their Speed Force effects. And they also have that hole in the back is for a large ripple of lightning effect that you can actually kind of pivot around, and it's got some articulation so you can make it look at different angles. While these hold it remarkably well, you do, when you don't have those effects on, you do have a figure that's got all these holes in the side of the sculpt. Versus our new Wally, he doesn't have that. So, you know what? Because I'm reviewing it right now, he's got those holes too. So it's interesting then that, I mean, we're using that buck, but they opted to go for these clingy ones that they're not very rigid, so they tend to fall kind of loose. It took me a little bit to get them all affixed and to not fall off, and some juggling, but that's how they chose to do it. So, I mean, you could customize, take these ones and put them in this figure, but it's not going to be quite the same effect because these are supposed to be silver, not gold. Yeah, so I guess the white lightning is not bad, but it doesn't quite sell the effect as good as the yellow one does. Yeah, the yellow definitely blends in a lot better. It's just trying to get the right angle on it, because it's supposed to be streaking off from this part of the yellow part of the costume. So having it up on his forearm or his bicep, it wouldn't work. You have to have it around this area. At least that's how it should be to me. If you read the old comics, that's where the yellow streaks came from, before we got into more of the Speed Force aspect of the mythology and the lightning effects. One final comparison before we get out of here. On the left, we have a Mattel DC Multiverse Wally West figure. I don't think he was sold in stores. I think he was a website exclusive that you had to get. I got him off of eBay, I believe. And this is still, I think, my favorite Wally West figure because it does have that Flash number 50 suit that he wore for so many years. And it's the suit where he came into his own, where he fought the Reverse Flash. And it's always going to have a special place in my heart because of that, of what he went through in the suit. And I feel like they do a great job of capturing Greg LaRocque's art style. I mean, it's not a one-to-one, but it does feel like that figure. You've got the plain gold boots, no wings affixed to the bottom like Mercury. The traditional gold belt slanting inwards instead of going side to side. And the, I guess you could say, kind of like the Barry Allen cowl, but with wide eyes. So obviously there's different scales. This Flash is 6 inches. New Flash over here, he is in the 7-inch McFarlane Multiverse line scale. So, but both have a nice sheen to them. I really like the red on this guy too. It's such a deep red. I think the original Barry Allen Flash that they did had a brighter red. But in keeping along with this metal, or the shiny suit, as I said sometimes in the comics, like, I feel this new McFarlane one does a good job capturing it. And it's not like the deep red of this guy. It's a more heroic, brighter red that suits this version of the character well. All right, so that has been our look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, The Flash, Dawn of DC, Wally West figure. Again, he is a gold label, exclusive to Walmart. Hopefully you guys can track him down. But this is him in all his glory. What did you guys think? Do you like the reuse? Do you like this head sculpt? How does it sit for you? Do you like the little lightning bolts they always attach? So leave me some comments down below on what you thought about it. Are you going to try and pick it up, or do you have plenty of Flashes and this is good enough? It's hard for me to say. This might be my favorite Wally West figure that they've made. And granted, I don't have the Crisis one, but of the other two, this might be it, even though I had my reservations. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time on Up to Speed with Wally West. Take care.